Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome back to episode 20 of City Skylines. Still trying to get my population to increase and it's certainly getting there. It's been a very slow process. We've just built a lot more housing. We're just waiting for some of these buildings to start populating. It looks like the power is finally started to connect itself up, so that is good. And we've got buildings on fire, but there's not a lot I can do about that. How are we getting on with these cemeteries? I can see that we have... we have 3 full cemeteries. Now, that should mean we've unlocked that other building. Once I've confirmed that we have. Plaza of the Dead. Yes, we have. So now we can start getting more crematoriums and emptying out some of these cemeteries. Just trying to get these because they allow us to get the fusion power plant. Although I don't know how easy that will be to get. Mainly because you do have to do some very nasty things to your city in order to actually unlock that fully. Let's go ahead and put in the Plaza for the Dead over there because it might help things a little bit. So now we need to start emptying these cemeteries that are all full or nearly full. In fact, yeah, we've got one full one down here. Let's go ahead and get ourselves another crematorium or 2, and we can start to empty out some of these cemeteries that are full. There's probably some room around that we could get the odd one in. It's a little bit tricky, actually. It's a shame you don't quite fit in there unless we want to destroy that bit of the path. Let's go ahead and put you in on that side. We do have another full one over here, but there are some crematoriums around. So let us go through. We'll pick this one. We'll do this one first. And we'll empty them out. Once they're emptied, we'll let them fill up. They actually give you happiness. So unlike landfills, which we want to remove, we don't want to remove the cemeteries. We want to leave them in there. But making sure that they're empty means we have a little bit more capacity to deal with the deceased. So let's go ahead and just keep on tidying up the industrial areas because all of these abandoned buildings do lower the land value. What about this new industrial area that I built up here? It's actually not doing too bad now. It seems to be getting a few more people in. So if that's the case, let's go ahead and just zone a little bit more. Not all of it. We're just going to do a small area. Give them a little bit more room to build. I unzoned a lot of this because the problem we were having was buildings would form and then instantly sort of abandon because they couldn't get enough workers. And in fact, we can actually see we've got a building over here. They've abandoned. Oh, because there were too few services. Now, what do they mean by services? Do they mean like the police and the fire and stuff like that? Because there are plenty of them around. I don't know why it decided they weren't. We're up to 40,000 population now, which is a very good thing. Still got some quite heavy traffic on this road, and again, it's mainly being caused by the intersection here where traffic is coming on and off the road. It is a one-way system though, so I did hope that we would alleviate some of the traffic problem there. What we could do, of course, and I might actually do that, is build another road that is one-way with trees. Build it over here towards the highway, and we'll build a couple of on-ramp, off-ramps. So you can either get off this road and go that way, or you can get off this road. We need to go over here, so let's go and page up a little bit. Trying to just sort of weave around all the traffic, but you're going to have to sort of double back on yourself, page down, and you can join up there. A little bit messy, but at least it means now that traffic that wants to get out of this area doesn't have to queue to get back onto the highway here. They can do it there. We've also got a lot of traffic coming off the highway to get into this area. So maybe what we'll do is we'll have a slip road that comes off here and just leads there. Again, they will have to follow the one-way system. There'll probably be a few trucks and things that use that just to get into the mix, but they're 2-lane roads, so it should be able to handle the capacity. Hopefully, we'll take a little bit of the strain off this road here. I guess a lot of this traffic is going straight across. No, some of this traffic is actually going off that way to the left. So it might be nice if we could actually give them an alternate route. Not sure how realistically easy that is going to be. I guess we could try and build a road off here, raise it up a little bit if we can. Slope is to sleep. Of course, we've got the railway in the way also, which doesn't help. We can go this way. We'll only destroy half the buildings doing it, so that's fine. So yeah, we can build a road and go down to there. That might let a few people get off. Of course, it is just creating another junction, but if we can get just a few people to go that way, it'll certainly help things out. Doesn't look like anybody is interested in using it though, does it? Yet the traffic that's not using this junction is probably the same traffic that's going to queue, go across here, go out here, and go in exactly the same direction. Yeah, it's still got like random vehicles that just turn around in the middle of the road. Or maybe it's because they're actually serving those buildings. That's probably what it is. There we go. Some traffic is using that now. That's fine. All in all, I think that's fairly decent. Population's up to 43,000 almost and still growing. How's our new area doing? Wow, it's getting pretty bad down here. Building is burnt down. Okay, that's fine. We still don't have all of the buildings built here. No, we don't want that. We want this. I've also just realised as well, we didn't really put any commercial down over here, and that's potentially going to be problematic. We will have some call for some. This area isn't really being used for much at all. Neither of these areas near the road. Let's go ahead and we'll unzone the area nearest the main road. Like so. Do that on both sides. I know we do have some buildings here. We'll probably leave some of those in. Let's just go ahead and we'll put in some high-density commercial around here. I make these series just to upset the people with OCD. I actually have pretty bad OCD myself, and you have no idea how difficult it is to actually not go around and make sure that all of these blocks are individually filled in and they're level and they don't overlap. And I really should do. I really, really know that I should, because if I don't do it like that, then it's just going to cause problems with buildings. So I've convinced myself now that I need to do it. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll just fill in those last few squares over here. There we go. That looks a little bit tidier. So we'll get a bit more commercial coming in now. Might use some of this area for commercial later on, actually. This is a lot of no raw materials. Okay, so unfortunately, this area now has got to the point where it's no longer working any fertile land. So what we're going to have to do is make this into general industry, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and do that. It will pollute the land a little bit, but it will mean those abandoned buildings will go away and it will reopen. Well, if we actually get rid of the buildings, it'll do it a lot quicker. So it's actually quite nice if you can do the farming, but yeah, the fertile land doesn't stay around forever. The same with any of the raw materials. We've pretty much worked it all as much as we can. So now we have to get rid of these buildings and move to different industry. Alternative way of making money. How much money are we making from our industry, actually? Let's go to our budget panel and go and have a look at... yeah, we'll sort the power out in a minute. Our income's not too bad. Weekly income... Farming... farming's hardly giving us anything now, but we have just destroyed most of the farming. Forestry's not doing too bad. We don't have an oil industry anymore. We are keeping it quite clean. We've got no loans. The budgets are quite good. I think we can keep the industry at that sort of price. Let's just have a look at the happiness and see. Industry's really happy. Offices are really happy. Commercial's still unhappy. Doesn't really say why. Residential's not as happy as they could be. I guess what we could do, because we're not doing terrible in terms of money. That's certainly not an issue. We could maybe afford to reduce residential taxes just slightly. And maybe increase the industry just slightly because they're really happy. And offices are happy. We could increase that slightly. Probably keep the commercial a little bit lower. So we'll just keep our eye on the figure here. And see how much it drops by. Yeah, actually quite a lot. It's amazing how much a small drop to your taxes can actually do that. So let's keep it on 10% then. I think 10% is reasonable. Offices are happy. Let's... Oh, that's commercial. Let's just try and keep them on 9%. You can go on to 10% as well. The industrial will keep a little bit higher. Yeah, we've just got some power over here that's not connected, and that's literally just because the buildings have all disappeared. You guys are getting sick citizens. Let's go ahead and maybe invest in a hospital somewhere along here. Where would be a good space for a hospital, potentially? Maybe on this road? Why not? So, our healthcare budget is, you know, sort of really over the top now. We could potentially go in and... we're sort of 120%. It really doesn't need to be. Let's put it down to 100. Let's have a look at the rest of the amenities. Power isn't as good as it could be. So, let's go in and just put our power budget up a little bit because it's not on 100%. Water is still doing fine. Garbage, landfill usage is at 0%, which means we've either got no landfills or they are all empty. Incinerator status is nearly full though. Does look like we've got some crime going on over here. Crime rate is high. Very interesting. Maybe it is time then to have ourselves a police department right next door. That'll sort the crime rate out. Yeah, you're complaining about it as well, so let's go ahead and do that. So this is because it's a high density area, it's probably more prone to a higher crime rate. Yeah, citizens are sick, but we've got a hospital there. I don't really know what more I can do for you, really. We'll sort things out. Is there any sort of policies we could impose over here that might make people's health a little better? Oh, there we go. We've got a population of 48,000. We can now buy another square. And we've got the nuclear power plant. Our next achievement is 70,000. That seems like a long way off. Then we'll be able to get airports. So 70,000 is our next goal. Got people complaining that their litter isn't being... or their garbage isn't being collected. We do have an incinerator over there. Let's get another one... Well, they're quite smelly things. We don't want them too close to the residential, but if people want their litter collected, then that is what we must do. Landfills. Let's have a look and see. We've got somewhere down here that isn't reaching water. This crematorium, actually, doesn't have any water. Let's just go ahead and do that. And we are attempting to empty out the cemeteries. You can probably empty out as well. That will be fine. Few buildings that have burnt down. Let's go ahead and get them. You've not got any power getting to you yet, but you will have soon, so I'm not too bothered about dealing with that. The odd one or two buildings burnt down around here. These people complaining crime rate is high. Okay, we can afford a little police station in here somewhere. There we go. That's just made everybody a lot happier. What else do we have? How are things going on over here? Not too bad. Got the odd burnt down building again. This road system now is absolutely terrible. People trying to get into the city. Maybe this should just be out only. And what we should do, and this is probably risky, but let's try it. Let's see how it works. We'll delete this little bit of road here, and we will make this into a 2-lane, one-way. Should be enough going from this direction. We'll raise it up as much as we can. Over here, we will end up destroying another few buildings in the process, and sort of try and connect it on somewhere else. We can actually go through here, which I appreciate is like really derpy, and that'll be forcing a lot of traffic around the one-way system, really. What about if we brought it over onto this side? We'll still be forcing a lot of traffic around onto the one-way system. In fact, that wouldn't be bad, because the one-way system goes in this direction, doesn't it? So let's let these people get on the road that way around. That's probably just going to make matters worse, but I'm just trying to alleviate some of the traffic that's waiting at this junction. So maybe this will help a little. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will make matters worse. Let's go ahead and get rid of that, because it's disgustingly ugly. Okay, traffic seems to be flowing a little bit more now. Question is, what's going to happen when it all gets to the end of this road? What have we got here? Crime rate is high. Why do we have so much crime? Guess we can go ahead and get a little police station in. That will do. Again, this is the problem with having these roads, because when you build a service building, the service building doesn't just cover a radius like it would in a game like SimCity. It actually considers how long it would take it to get somewhere. So if it's at the end of a one-way road, then it's only going to cover things downstream, not upstream, because they would have to get all the way around the one-way system to get back where they were going. And not to mention that different roads move at different speeds. What have we got going on that we are complaining about? Apparently we've still got some issues with power. Can't remember what my city's layout is. It's probably going to be down over here where the industry was. Yeah, there's just one little area that hasn't quite joined up yet that we can solve by putting in one pylon. It's probably the reason why these have all abandoned, actually. No electricity. Why they couldn't have just built closer to where there was electricity, I have no idea at all. But that should solve that problem anyway. We are still gaining people. How much living space do we have left? We have nearly 15,000 households. We are only occupying just over 13,000. So we do still have room for some more people to move in. So that's not a problem at all. I know we do need to get some more public transport up in the new housing areas. Might be nice at some point to consider getting the train station in here now. In fact, it's probably not a bad idea at all, simply for the fact that we don't have one. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a normal train terminal, the train station. Will create a bit of noise, but we can live with that. Or do we want it on the main road? It's probably easier to put it here on the main road. So we'll have ourselves a train station. We'll grab ourselves some train lines. And we'll see if we can connect it up with the existing lines. That'll be a little bit tricky. Well, let's do the other end first. That one's going to be relatively easy, I think. So we'll connect that up. And can we connect this one up here? That's not going to be the easiest of maneuvers, is it? What about if we raise it up? Come on, I'm sure you can build over there. Raise it up through the middle here. And there. And you won't let me take it down. Is it just because that building's in the way? Is that literally all that it is? Is it because of that? Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Oh no, what is that? That is a what now? I wish you could tell me what it is. That is... Oh, it's my incinerator. Let's just go ahead and relocate that and put it on this side. That'll be fine. Now we'll go back to the rail. Are you going to allow me to snap to that? There we go. And... See, the only reason that this won't connect is because of the pylons being on the roadside. If it would allow me to adjust it manually, it would be absolutely fine. So if we went to there, and we want to page down to... Well, would you let me page right down to there yet? No. There you would. And then we're too steep. Slope too steep. Okay, that's a bit of an interesting diversion for the train to take, but, you know, I'm all for interesting diversions. There we go. We have a rail line here. Doesn't have any power going to it. That should solve itself, and it has done. Do we need to actually set up a route for that? We do. So we actually need to set up a passenger train route, I think. So we need to have another passenger train line somewhere. Maybe we need to have one up over here, near the Concord district. Or maybe near Grove Heights. So maybe we go ahead and get ourselves a nice big four-way street. Run it through here, destroying half of the commercial, because why not? Grab ourselves another train station, put that here, and then we have to try the fun game of connecting up the lines to it. So let's go ahead and see if we can do this. Space already occupied. You just can't connect to it? Yes, you can. You nearly got there a second ago. You did find a space. Too steep. What about if we come down in a different direction? Still too steep. Just slightly too steep. What about if we go ahead and move this slightly further down the road? Might be enough. Yes, we can connect that up. And then this one needs to... Where does the line... The line goes over here. That's going to be very, very difficult to connect up. Actually, no, it's not going to be all that bad. If we sort of curve it around here, going up a little bit, because we don't really want to cut through the road if we can. Too steep again. Let's get rid of that. Should have gone straight up to begin with, I think. And yes, I know how much that I upset all of the engineers and city planners by how terrible I am at this game. And I don't care. So we're going to go back down to the train line. We will destroy a few houses along the way, but that's progress. Now, how can we connect back up to this monstrosity of a line? Really? Will it allow us to even do that from a raised line? Should do. Yes. There we go. Just looks like Birmingham in the UK. It's absolutely fine. So now we have at least 2 train stations, so we can go ahead and get ourselves a train stop. Oh, what is this actually? Draw a line by clicking the train stations. Draw a line from the departure station to the terminal station and back, as the train lines need to be circular. But obviously they can use the same line. Cargo train terminals can't have train stops, but the train line can run through them. That's fine then. So that is a... that's cargo, isn't it? So you need to be 1, and the other one is here. And then if we go back and click on this one, that should have created a line. Create a line. Add a stop. Yeah, can't have stops on these ones, but I'm just not sure that we can go back to it. Oh, complete line. There we go. Looks like we have a line there now. It's difficult to tell. Let's speed things up a little bit. Still got 1.5 million in the bank, so doing really well on cash. Almost can select the line there. It's a bit glitchy. Not too sure why. Is there actually even a train there? I can't see any trains running these lines. There's a train. What are you? You're a freight train. We don't need the freight train. We actually need the passenger train. Where's the passenger train? Guessing all of these red trains are freight trains. Yep, you're a freight train also. So freight trains are actually coming through the passenger train areas, but it doesn't look like we've got any passenger trains going. Because we couldn't create a circular route, although theoretically a train can run backwards and forwards between 2 stations. Yep, freight train again. No people using the trains. Yeah, that's maybe a little bit problematic. So, let's go ahead for the time being and turn those train stations off. It's going to, well, it keeps people happy having it on, I suppose, even if it's not being used. So we'll just keep it on. We can afford to run it. Looks like I'm going to have to try and build another station so that I can link them together. I'm honestly surprised by that. I really thought that we'd be able to just have 2 stations and run a train backwards and forwards between them. Or it could be, like I've actually already heard, that train stations are a little bit broken. That is quite the possibility. So, yes, it is messy. I've got sort of really terrible junctions. I've got roads crisscrossing over each other where they shouldn't be. Everything's a complete and utter mess. But at least everything isn't just a massive collection of grid lines. And although I do have some grids in the city, it is something that I said that I wanted to avoid when I first started playing this. I didn't just want everywhere to look like a big, massive grid. And I think for the vast majority of it, I have managed to accomplish that. Still getting a few buildings burning down. Can't even see that one. It's actually buried away in there. But the city seems to be growing quite well. Getting a lot of pop-ups from the chirper up there. A lot of people complaining about noise. We've got a little bit of crime. And this is always going to be the problem, of course, as the city starts to get bigger. There are going to be more problems. There are going to be crime waves and things are getting worse. Traffic over here is not as bad as it used to be. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still bad. Still very bad, but not as bad as it used to be. What about the other industrial area over here? It looks like moving that lane and making this one-way system certainly seems to have alleviated a lot of the traffic. It's much more free-flowing. I think avoiding crossroads and just having one-way traffic as much as possible makes a huge deal of difference to how well the traffic runs in the city. But that's all we've got time for, so thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying City Skylines. I'll see you on the next video. Until then, goodbye for now.